Hey, you. I'm busy working with well, Alexander and I are busy working on a presentation for Truth Talks. Presentation, I think, is going to be called "The Truth About Distilled Water." Yeah, and Alexander's teaching me how to type, so obviously progress is a little slow at the moment. But he and I were just going to go for a walk, and I was reminded that I have offered to talk more about fitness and wellness. I was talking to a pal the other day who suggested that, at the age of 50, I could be someone who men of my age or similar age, perhaps younger too, but that I could offer some of my health advice, and I need to come up with something a little bit more succinct, a little bit more punchy and short to the point. I think there is an overarching mind state or ethos that I would consider, which is that when you worry about something, you actually give it far more power than it should have, and then the effect of that is to actually enable certain things to occur. So when it comes to wellness, I think what I should start by saying is that don't worry about it so much as just be willing to a guy called Ron very kindly gave me some of his home grow, and I was just trying that out actually. So I found it to be quite, maybe I had a little bit more than I would normally. Anyway, yeah. So don't stress about it. And people who talk about diet, I think diet is a bad word. The word diet has die in it. So we are what we eat. And if you eat shit, then you're gonna be full of shit. We typically don't expel as much as we put in. And that gets stored in various ways. Often for guys, it gets stored in the belly and sort of clogs things up, particularly down in the back passage regions. So, regular plumbing is essential for this, and I can't recommend that highly enough. I can go into more detail in another video on keeping the plumbing working. Some people eat plums. Maybe that's why they're called plums, because they help move through the bums. So you won't get me at this stage in my journey talking about extreme eating ideas and fads and stuff like that. I think a balanced, sort of plate is important. Gorging and overeating on certain food types is probably not recommended or not in your best health interests. And the lighter the food, the closer the source, obviously that makes the most sense, right? And sun is the principal source of energy. It gives its life and energy its energy to the plants. So those have to be at the top of the tree. Other more complex processes happen through the life cycle of the energy. I think that's worth keeping in mind. And I don't know that plants on their own can do everything that is required for your good health. One of my top tips on eating actually is actually to delay breaking the fast each day as is feasible. You know, I used to be a big time breakfast like a king, lunch like a queen, and dinner like a pauper kind of thing. Now I'm like, well, you could probably get away with eating once or twice a day, and the longer the sort of the fast between the meals each day, then probably the better. I tend not to eat until at least 10 or 11, maybe in the morning, or even 2 o'clock in the afternoon, depending on my work cycle. And I might have been up since 5 or 4 or 3. So, you know, don't be fixated on the 3 meals a day kind of mindset. And if you're needing to nibble food in between meals, then you're probably not eating a satisfactory type of food. You know, you might be eating volumes of food that seems great, but actually in terms of the glycemic index, for the ability for the food to nourish you for X number of hours, then oftentimes the food that we eat is pretty low rated and leaves you feeling hungry just a couple of hours later, which means you end up snacking and nibbling and munching and whatnot. I think too much of that as a habit is going to cause you to be, you know, your body's constantly managing food. And managing food takes a huge amount of energy, and the body gets exhausted managing food. Hey, I'm just making a quick video on health, and I've got some people in the room of chat. Hi, hey, hello, Robin. I was hoping to have a chat with you. Is that Marilyn? Hi, Marilyn. Good to see you last night. And hey, Drew. Wow, there's lots of people here. That's very nice of you to stop in. I'm just, yeah, I was just saying, I'm just busy. I'm doing a talk next Thursday at this pub down in Greenwich. The pub's called the Vanbrugh, and from 7 o'clock till 9 o'clock, we've got an informal, myself and Cosmic Cat, have got an informal series of talks, just 2 talks this time, 10-15 minutes long each, and a bit of, you know, follow up with questions. But we're very interested in kind of getting people around a social event where we can talk about all things to do with flat Earth and to do with things beyond flat Earth, and to do with the sort of inner self, the knowing thyself thing, and so on. As I'm here, I could show you this thing that I got at my at the conference in Birmingham last year, and I'll be looking forward to the conference. The next UK conference, I assume it might be in Birmingham, but we'll see. Sorry, my eyesight is a bit morning all. Rudy. Oh, I've got glasses here. Hey, look, you guys, I can put glasses on. This will be a moment. Look at that. I've got glasses on. I can read that very clearly. Damn, that's clear. Wow. Yeah, Drew's working at the slave job. Hey, David West. Okay, Rose Tinted. It was nice to see Rose Tinted last night. You and eat when you're hungry, drink when you're thirsty, and sleep when you're tired. Yeah, that's useful. And if I can say in response to that, yeah, I think the drink when you're thirsty. I think people say that if you feel thirsty, then you're already partially dehydrated. So that would be the one that I would say. You know, we are 70% water, as they say, and the water is constantly being polluted. The water of your body is constantly being polluted by the environment that you're in. So for someone like me who is fastidious about drinking distilled water where I can, and I know that when I'm washing myself, when I'm putting clean water into, thanks, Robin. When I'm putting clean water into my body, then I am drop by drop replacing the tainted water, the slightly brackish water that makes up my body. I think of it a little bit like the ocean. The ocean of the earth is correspondingly around 70%, makes apparently 70% now. Obviously, if it's infinite plains and things like that, then perhaps not. But 70% water, and the oceans are constantly needing refreshing. I'm not going to get into talking about, oh my gosh, I'm not going to talk about what I think about how the oceans refresh themselves. That's a little bit too long a conversation. I didn't intend for this to be that. I am due to be going out, and so I won't go there. But there's more to come on that. And so back to the body. The body is constantly needing cleaning, I think. Resting is essential, and then what you put in your food, in your mouth, it makes sense that if it's food that is going to get stuck in there, if it's food that is going to be hard for your body to process and so on, then it's going to require more work, more effort, more energy, be more taxing for your body. So be mindful about that, I suppose. And then it's just a matter of balancing. It's not even balancing so much as there's just a recognition that the body needs to be a physical machine. It's a physically active machine, designed to be that. And if you spend your time often sedentary, sitting like I am on this chair, then you will find yourself becoming slothful, and your body won't be able to support itself very well. So you definitely need to be doing physical things. I'm not trying to sell gym memberships. I haven't been in a gym myself for 4 years. My the wife person says to keep moving. That's it, moving. And that's one of the seductions of the sofa, isn't it? The modern sofa, and the I said something. Okay, I'm not going to go down there either. You should ask me one day about how I think we used to nourish ourselves in churches without the need of food. This kind of ties into mud flood stuff, but I've never had the chance to say this on a forum. But motion and mobility and so on, we've got cars and trains and buses and machines that do so much for us. We have to be diligent in to be physically active, and I don't necessarily mean doing push-ups or going on long runs either, or joining the gym, however that might be the best option for you. And I'm grateful that I've been able to do gardening and carry my son every morning for an hour or more, so that's been fantastic for the last year and a half. I've been on the trampoline or carrying him for at least an hour every day. That's brilliant exercise. But it does, anyway, that's what I'll say on that. Keep moving. And if you're spending an hour sitting on the sofa or in the car or whatever, you need to combat that with a period of activity, reasonably brisk. An ambling stroll down the beachfront is fantastic in that it's fresh ether that's moving around your body, and I recommend that too, now that I bring that up. But it needs to be something that gets the the heart and lungs working a little bit. Hey, I'm sure you already know this. I'm probably talking to people who already know this stuff. It's just a matter of whether people have the still have the time to do that. But we are living in incredible times, phenomenal times, and I think whatever's coming for us you know, then we are all likely to be better off individually and collectively if we're still taking care of the temple, that is you. And, we may want to be the warriors out there spreading the good news, according to the flatness. But if we are not taking time to mend our own fences and attend our own plumbing, then then we're just going to end up a wreck and have sort of fallen into a trap that has been laid for us, which is to sort of spend all of our energy and on outward things rather than inward things. And as valuable as the truth is, and as much as we all want the senseless deaths and the sicknesses and all these sorts of things to end, we have to know from our experience that we're sort of pissing in the wind, because the system doesn't need to listen to us. And when it does, it's going to come with such a tsunami force that if you haven't kept your temple in good health and order, then I wonder if you have to come back again and do it again. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. I'm just saying I guess we're trying to raise the vibration in this timeline, and we all know that it has to start from at home, within. So I'll leave it at that, and I hope you all have a supremely fantastic day. Is that Marilyn still there? What's Marilyn talking about? How long does toxins take to leave one's body? The pineal gland. I mean, we get told a lot of stuff, and I have seen a picture of a calcified pineal gland, but, do I really know if this stuff is real? I was given fluoride tablets every day as a child for years. My mum, little bottles of pink tablets, and we'd look forward to them, actually. I think I'd take 2 in the morning and maybe 2 in the evening or something like that. So, and as well as the toothpaste and stuff, which you like the taste of, so you swallow a bit anyway. So I'm curious as to whether, and I had that DMT experience, which, if there's the pineal gland is getting open in that kind of experience, then mine seemed to experience no difficulty in being open. And that was before I was drinking distilled water. So, again, I think I hear people going, oh, the chemtrails, this and I used to be one of those people. I used to follow Richie from Boston, and listen to his yabbering on about chemtrails, this, and new sort of smart grid, that, and so on. But, if these things are real and they're going to do some shit to us that fries us, then surely the best thing you could have done in the time that you had was to take care of, build your own ark, prepare your own ark. Yeah, that's what you should have been doing. Instead, you were listening to Richie from Boston going, oh, they're chemtrailing us again, and so on. And yeah, again, I made a nuisance of myself in 2015. A lot of the friends that I thought I had disappeared like a freaking contrail, when I started talking about this stuff. And even my wife was like, you're kind of, it's kind of frightening, or it's horrible to see this stuff. But I was like, you need to know. I've got some interesting. And I think that you do need to know. But if you spend your time fretting about it and shabbering and yabbering about it, then you will again lose yourself in it, and you will have empowered this thing far more than it possibly even is. And I mean, if this 5G grid is anything, for me, it's that it'll trap more people in their mobile phones, it'll trap more people in their homes, because they'll be like, they've got all the information they need at their fingertips. It's super fast. They can watch their football and their porn and their shopping channel all at the same time. So, and if the 5G is going to kind of fry our brains and melt us and make us into sort of thing, well, then the best thing you can do is be clean, my friend. you know, flush the flue, and and keep the plumbing clean, and as much as is possible. We're all on a journey from whence we came, so who knows if there's a if I don't think we have. I think we have time, but if we don't have time, then your time would be best spent ensuring that your plumbing's in good order. But yeah, I think that we do have time, and I think the whole purpose of we're running out of time, there's a date, there's a moment that's coming, that everything's going to blow up, an electromagnetic pulse, a nuclear event, a North Korea, an HIV outbreak. What about that other one, the blood disease, where everyone was dying of the hemorrhagic fever? What was it called? And that was something that they'd seeded into my brain as a youngster reading fiction books. Ebola, and that this is coming, and we have to be frightened by people being brought into this country like a Trojan horse with this disease that they were going to take into a hospital and have it cured and all this sort of crap. You are the divine creation here, and you don't. This is all stuff that pulls you out of the present and takes you into some sort of future paradigm that they've used Hollywood and their news version of Hollywood, the BBC and so on, to propagate and to push these ideas that either time is running out or the future is so bleak that you need to be shitting yourself right now. Well, and then in that, you are not doing the work up here, you are not spending the time exercising and enjoying the moment and loving this life, What does that say? I love you because, you are here, and you should be loved, and you should allow yourself to love yourself. And I'm talking to myself too here, I mean, I come from my own package of baggage and of shit. So I'm on a journey of self-discovery, and I see others around me who are maybe a little, they're alongside or a little further behind, and they could do with a little nudge in the right direction. Because I made a conscious decision to clean myself up consciously. It's been 5 years since I turned off the TV, but it took a few years to get to the point where I was like, wow, there is a higher dimensional purpose to all of this, and I'm willing to take that in my heart and try and manifest that in the best way that I can, and with the tools that I have, and so on. And then I think when you kind of when your mind is in a better place like that, then perhaps you think about food in different ways too. Again, I'm on my own journey with food, and my own journey with nourishing my body in the most appropriate way, in a way I feel is right, and the way that nature speaks to me. So I will probably call it quits there. It's 23 minutes. My son's getting a little bit crabby. He needs to go out. I'll catch up with you guys later. I need to do a little bit of housework as well. Yeah, I needed. Yeah, and I again, I'm grateful for you folks coming by to say hi. And I'm 5G is real bad. Richie from Boston, I used to listen to, but yeah, and then there's that. I mean, if we're going to get fried by 5G, we're all going to get fried. So it doesn't make sense. Do these towers cause cancers? Yes. I think that being around any electromagnetic thing, we are electromagnets, and the dissonance that these machines, these devices, and so on cause illness. There's no getting around that, So, and the more powerful ones are going to. My mother, one of her dying things was she was working on trying to get one of these towers moved from near a school in her neighborhood. So, I'm conscious of this and have been for a very long time. and I don't advise anybody to move near one, and heaven forbid one was near my house. But you know, again, if I sat and fretted about it all day long, I'd cause myself more harm than the tower itself, and that's the key, okay? And if there's shit coming down the line, then it's coming down the line. There's a line from a song on this album that I've been listening to, this REM album, and it goes like this: hold on, world, you don't know what's coming. Now, I think there is a truth in that. I think that there is a truth. We do not know what's coming down the line, and given what we see in the Mudflood adventure and other things, you know, humanity has been through some incredible twists and turns, it seems, and there are possibly more coming. And if that be true, my friends, and you're listening to this message, then you're one of those people that probably needs to be, like me, doing the things that you can do to raise your own game, raise your vibration, so that when it comes, you're as strong as you can be. And whatever happens from that, it's the best that it can be in the situation. I think that's about preparing the ark. And remember, the Ark of the Covenant, I think, for a guy like me, is up in here. Yeah, so it's a heart and the mind and soul and all of that. The Trinity. 4. Anyway, I've had a fun time, and I'll speak to you again soon.